I'm watching this video back and I've just been cracking up at how much chaos is happening in this kitchen. Before you start this video, know that it's 1, not a tutorial, 2, I have no clue what I'm doing, and 3, this is the first time I have done this in literally 7 years, and it's only the second time I've ever done it. I felt like I needed to preface this whole video with that statement. I have been vegetarian since I was 21 for 5 years, and this year I actually decided to go back to a more traditional style of diet, and that's why I have no clue what I'm doing with this. I'm like fully relearning how to cook with meat. I used to be pretty good at it, and you'd be surprised how quickly you can forget that kind of stuff. I have been thawing this turkey in the fridge for a few days now, and it's finally ready. This is the first time I've done this in a very long time. First, we're gonna brine it. I'm gonna mix the brine up in a stock pot and boil it, let it cool, and then put the turkey in it. My neighbor told me that I need to use apple cider to brine this, and I am not one to question her. She knows what she's doing. This is how much apple cider we have left, so that's what I'm gonna use. It's probably maybe a little bit more than a quart, and then I'm gonna just use a bunch of other random stuff, and we're gonna hope that it tastes good. All right. Water. Turn it on high. All of my measuring cups are dirty, and this is the only salt I have in bulk. So we're gonna guesstimate a cup. That might have been more. I don't have any fresh oranges, so I'm gonna use orange juice. Like a half cup. Scrape together the last of the brown sugar that I have made up. Cinnamon sticks. I don't have any fresh rosemary at the moment, so I'm gonna just put a lot in there. Teaspoonish of cloves. Teaspoonish of peppercorns. Oh, maybe it's less than I thought. Just about a quart. Goodbye, apple cider. It's been a lovely month with you. I'll probably end up having to add more water to this when it's done because the turkey is kind of big and I feel like this might not cover the whole thing, but we'll kind of just see once it's done and cooled and adjust from there. I know this doesn't look like anything special. You can barely see it because of the steam. Kind of just looks like soup. It smells like a fall simmer pot and it smells amazing. It smells so good. Okay, I think this turkey is gonna be delicious. We'll let this cool down and we'll come back to it later and we'll put the actual turkey inside of it. Back down in the basement to grab this roaster oven because I don't have anywhere to keep it upstairs. This basement is a hot mess. But thank goodness we have it. We have a lot of stuff, and I plan to remedy that. But things like this, there's just nowhere to put them. A good location out of the way. All right, I have it preheating at 450. The pan's not in it. I need to rinse it out real quick or wipe it out real quick. I didn't clean up after dinner last night, and that was a mistake, but we were trying to find a chicken. Oh, this is Woo, okay. Pour the brine out. Wash those dishes right away. Shoot, I need to wash this out. So this is heating up. I rinsed this out. Going to put the rack in here. All right. Brine is gone. We're setting this in here. It says salt the cavity. So that's what I'm doing. Guys, I just want to remind you, I've only done this one time before. It was it was in 2017. I don't know how long ago that was, 7 years ago. And it wasn't just me doing it, so. I don't need opinions, but I also don't really know what I'm doing. Just gonna use this whole half stick of butter that we have left. Pat it dry. That's a part I remember. I feel like I remember we put the butter underneath the skin. We're just gonna rub the butter everywhere. So I feel like as soon as I put it in there, it's gonna melt anyway. All over it. I'm only serving this to myself, so I don't really care if it's pretty. Poultry seasoning, pepper, and salt. I feel like the butter's gonna melt everywhere anyway, so I'm just gonna plop the rest of it on here. But I'm gonna keep it simple otherwise and just do salt and pepper and a little bit of poultry seasoning. Honestly, I would stuff the cavity too, but I don't really have anything to stuff it with right now, so it's just gonna go in there like this. So the recipe that I'm following is the one that I used in 2017 when I made Friendsgiving dinner. And that one says don't add any liquid and do not open the lid for like a certain amount of time. I'll have to look and see what it says. But I think this just goes in like this and then it comes out delicious. So that's what we're gonna do. Lid. And like I said, this is on the highest setting. It's only gonna sit there for 30 minutes and then we're gonna turn it down to 325 until it's done. And this one, it was just a cheap one on sale at Walmart. So it does have a pop-up timer in it. So I will have to check it at some point because I don't have a wired thermometer. We're working with what we got. Hey Siri.
Good afternoon.
Set a timer for 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Counting down.
All right, see you guys in 30 minutes. A half hour has passed and I'm turning it down to 325 and I just burned my pinky. I was dealing with a duck fiasco. Our duck Bill is having some issues and I had to give him a bath. So this was in here a little bit longer than I planned before checking it, but I think it's done. The thing is popped and everywhere that I've tested has been over 165 and that's the temperature you want it to be. So they're all at like 180. So it's probably a little overdone, but that's fine. I'm not really picky when it comes to that. As long as it's cooked, I don't really care. So I'm gonna turn it off. Oh, I already turned it off. And then I need to look up what to do next. I think we let it rest. Alright, it says to remove it from the roaster oven and tent it with foil for like 20 minutes. I don't have a vessel big enough besides the roaster oven to put it in, so it's gonna stay. I just took it out of the actual heated part. It's gonna stay here and I don't want to waste foil. I don't even know if I have foil, so I'm just gonna leave the lid on it. If you haven't noticed, I'm a big proponent of 1, winging it, and 2, using what you've got. I'm ready to taste it. Oh, it smells so good in here. I honestly, the thing I'm most excited about for this whole process is making a bunch of turkey broth to can. Having pre-canned broth, it's been one of my favorite things that I've discovered since learning how to can. So. Again, this is just for me, so I'm just gonna eat it with a fork. Oh gosh, that's a lot. That is so good. I feel like it has hints of the apple cider flavor to it. Oh yeah, this is good. I know that a lot of people think turkey is dry, but honestly, turkey is my favorite meat. But I'm not picky about the dryness. I guess I can see where you're coming from if you think that, but the flavor is so good. This is gonna be a lot of really good meals for me. This was a 17-pound turkey for just me. I lied, it's not just for me. She loves turkey too. You want a bite? Yeah, you love turkey. She's not gonna leave me alone the rest of the night now. Do you want another bite? Okay. Come here. Quick note. I would never do this if I was feeding this to guests or anybody else besides myself. I know some people probably think this is disgusting. I don't care. But just know that if I was ever hosting somebody, I would not be feeding this to my cats. But it's just for me.
Would you like another bite? Ow. You got my finger meat.
This little gremlin just came inside, so let's see if he likes turkey. He's never had turkey before.
Come here, you want it? You want the rest? Okay, last piece, then you're done. Ow, that's my finger.
So like I mentioned earlier in the video, I have been vegetarian for 5 years, and this past January, so January 2023, I decided that I wanted to kind of transition back to a more traditional type of diet. A lot of that is because I really appreciate good food. I really love cooking and being in the kitchen and feeling inspired. It really inspires me to do so. And it's just really fun for me to create things in the kitchen. We've been so busy with homestead things and just everything we've got going on in our life. I'm not going to go through the list because if you've watched any of our videos, you know that we've got a lot going on. And we started to rely more on the meat replacement type stuff at the store. So like Beyond Burgers and that kind of stuff. And I don't want to be eating that kind of stuff. All the vegetarian alternatives I'm making homemade, I am perfectly happy with those, like the quality of that food. I just wasn't able to have the time to make it because it takes a lot more prep than meat does. So I figure if I'm gonna be relying on the store-bought stuff anyway for meat alternatives, I might as well just eat meat again. In my mind, that's healthier. And it just makes more sense to me. It might not make sense to you, but it makes sense to me. That's the quick rundown of why I went back to eating meat. There are probably other reasons that I'm forgetting right now, but a while back, the Hollers invited me to come to their chicken processing day, and I'm not gonna lie, that scared me a little bit because I've never butchered anything. I'm not that kind of person. I get very, very sentimental about animals. I'm very emotional when it comes to that kind of stuff. And the thought of doing that really kind of makes me nervous. Like, I understand it and I respect the whole process, but it also hurts my heart a little bit. I don't get grossed out at all. Like, I'm not a squeamish person. Like, nothing grosses me out. It's more of the emotional part that gets me. I figure let's talk about that a little bit more. They had me get right into it, and the first thing that I did was butcher the chicken. And I thought I was gonna have a lot more of an emotional response to it, and I really didn't. But I think primarily it's because they were in the cones. I didn't put it in the cone, and I had no connection to those birds. So I think if they were my own, and I had raised them, I might feel differently. Again, I don't know because I haven't done that yet, but that's just kind of how I'm seeing it. I think maybe if I had more of a connection to it, it might have been harder for me. But then I kind of just hopped around to the rest of the stations, and really, like, after that point, I have no connection. It's just food to me at that point. And so I got right in and was doing the gutting and the evisceration station. And Ben showed me how to do that, and I actually really learned a lot. It was very neat to see how that all works. Like I said in their video, it was kind of weird putting your hand in a chicken that's warm. It was just like prep work for in the kitchen. So yeah, overall, I learned a ton. It was really great to see how to actually part out the chickens and see how they bagged them all up and everything. Overall, it was a great experience. I would definitely do it again with them. I don't know that it's something that we'll do here anytime soon, just because Taylor is still vegetarian, and so we kind of have to tread carefully with what animals we bring onto our property. They need to benefit us in multiple ways for us to be able to bring them onto our property, because I can't handle butchering things by myself, and Taylor is not going to do that, which I fully respect that. That's his decision, and I would never want to push something on him that he wasn't comfortable with. So I know that kind of makes our homestead a little bit different, maybe a little bit weird, but that's just how it is here. And I think I would definitely do it in the future, tag teaming a day of doing it, even if I were to raise them with the neighbors or with anybody else. Because yeah, there is a lot that goes into it, and I just don't think I could tackle that by myself. They did send me home with some as well, and I haven't tried it. I haven't got to try it yet. I threw it right in the freezer because I have all the turkey that I'm still dealing with that I showed you in this video. But we're gonna try it soon. I asked if tasting that chicken is going to ruin me for those $2 salvage store chickens that I usually buy to save money, and they said yes. We'll see how I feel after I actually taste it. I just wanted to chat about that and give you guys a little bit more insight into why that was such a big day for me and just my whole thought process behind it. And I figured it would be a good end to this video since we've already gone through the chaotic process of me trying to cook meat as a newly reverted meat eater. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.